Finally.
It's coming. So it's Christmas, but that's another story.
There you go. Janet, did you bring your flag?
Want to look at a venue? Oh, I'm sorry. Pardon me. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, look, it's winning.
You just want to
Going up on the screen. Ready to start? Everybody stand up, pledge allegiance. Turn this on. I'm done.
Remember, you can't hear it.
Oh, you can't? Okay, it wasn't on.
No, I'm gonna put this up. Definitely on.
Okay. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Turn the meeting over to the prettiest president of Hillsborough County. You can do the rest.
I get to do the rest. Okay. So, Walt, I have nominated. Oh, I know. Oh, I know. I'm never in front of the camera. Never in front of the camera. Walt, you have to do the moment of silence because you didn't. Now you got to stand right back up.
It's a good time to remember the people of Ukraine who continue to fight for their country. Hopefully there'll be a resolution to this soon. Also could remember those who died 21 years ago on September 11th, which we commemorated on Monday. And also a good time to remember the lives that were lost in the ensuing wars in Iraq and Afghanistan.
Thank you very much. And Walt, you did a great job. He protested. I don't want to do the moment of silence. No, not me. And he did a great job. Thank you. Very quick, if you're a board member, just wave. On the side of the agenda is the names of all of our board members, and they work very, very hard. And I appreciate everything that they do. Honestly, tonight, we don't, the speaker got stuck in traffic and he will not be here tonight. So we have plenty of speakers to fill their shoes. And then what I'm going to start out with is Vanessa Lester of the Hillsborough County Democratic Party. And she has a job for us. That's what she told me.
I never show up without an ask. I probably have 2 or 3 jobs, but I'm gonna be considerate. Oh, see, you all can see me now. I'll keep going. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Vanessa Lester, and I'm Hillsborough County's state committee woman. What that basically means is that I'm a conduit between the local party and the state party, right? And I'm on the campaign committee on the state party. So I do a lot of different things, wear a lot of different hats, but today, I'm here as a state committee woman because I got to sign off on your packet. Every 2 years, the clubs request to be recertified with the county party. And we have clubs geographically around Hillsborough, and East Hillsborough County Club is one of them. So it's with my distinct pleasure that I give this 2021-2022 certificate to your president, Donna, because you all have been officially recertified by the Florida Democratic Party. So thank you very much for your contribution and your hard work. Absolutely. Now that certificate comes with an ask. I never show up without an ask. There's twofold, and I'm going to go to the first one and then I'm going to make the second one because I think I'm going to be followed by Radina, which will dot all the I's and cross all the T's for us. We've gotten through the primary, right? And we're headed into the general election. And during the general election, we want to make a presence at the polls. Some of you all have participated in that before. We do it from various different perspectives. We have poll watchers on the inside of the poll that sit there very quietly. That's not me, because I don't know how to sit still more than 2 minutes. But we have poll watchers that sit inside of the poll and pay attention to exactly what's occurring, right? To make sure that everybody can cast their ballot. And if for some reason a person or an individual or voter is not able to cast their ballot, what they do is they get on their phone and they text the poll watcher, which is outside, and say, catch that lady with the pink shirt on. She wasn't able to cast her ballot. Find out why. So it's an inside and an outside engagement, right? To find out why you weren't able to cast your ballot. And then we have a whole nother system putting it in the LBJ and all that type of stuff. They may have simply asked you something like, can I have your driver's license? And you're like, I don't have a driver's license. And you did just that. And you walked away. And the person didn't ask you for anything else to validate who you were. So when you get outside to me, I'll be like, do you have a passport? Do you have something with your driver's license written down, an ID card, a student ID, or something else that you can still go back in and cast your ballot, or at least do at the very least a provisional ballot. So we're doing that. We also want people out there waving signs, right? Showing that Chris is up for governor, showing that Demings is running for Senate, handing out slate cards so that when they go into the poll, they'll know exactly who to vote for, because a lot of times they're not paying attention to that D next to that individual's name, because this is foreign to them, or they're only doing it for 5 or 10 minutes every couple of years. So they have to be reminded. Can I get one of those slate cards if you don't mind? I just want to hold it up so people on here can see it. So on this slate card that you all can see, it tells you every Democrat that's running, from US Senate to the House, to the governor, to the Attorney General, CFO, Commissioner of Agriculture, State Senate, everybody. So when they go into that ballot booth to cast their ballot, they can take some documentation in with them. And now they're more comfortable knowing who it is that they're voting for. That's part of what I'm here for. So we're asking, my first ask is for this particular club to adopt an early voting site. We have another meeting tomorrow night with the state that's looking at it from a state level. And then we're having a local organizing meeting. And then we're going to probably bring all the clubs and caucuses together, because some of them have never done this before, to explain exactly what the expectations are. So any questions in reference to poll watching, poll greeting, and or adopting a site and what that looks like? Yes, Rudina. Both. We're actually, the original request is for early voting, because there's about 26 sites around, and we've narrowed those down to ones that you can actually access, because you have 150-foot limitation on how close you can get to the actual early voting site. Read. Okay, here you go. He wants you to have a slate card. And absolutely. And so I forgot the question. I'm sorry. Oh, early voting sites. So I believe early voting starts October the 26th, if I'm not mistaken, up through, I have to look at my calendar. Is it the 24th, that Monday? Yep, the 24th, October the 24th through November the 6th. Day off on the Monday the 7th, and then election day on the 8th. On election day, we do a shift to cover specific polling sites based on need, based on how many people come through those particular polling sites. And individuals actually have to go back to the polling site that they're assigned to. During early voting, a person can vote anywhere in the county, but on election day, you have to vote at your polling site. So let me give you a prime example. Temple Terrace Library is an early voting site, but it's not a day of election site, right? So what we have sometimes is someone stand in front of the Temple Terrace Library. So when people show up to vote, we can tell them exactly what their precinct number is and where their polling site is. So those are the type of things that we do during early voting. It's a great community building exercise, a great club building exercise, a great caucus building exercise. Reed likes to bring brownies. So he likes to cook brownies and bring them out. So it's a really good festive time to show a presence and to let people in Hillsborough County know that Democrats are at the polls and that they're ready to get people elected. Any other questions? And the polling sites are very open from 7 to 7. Don't ask you to be there completely from 7 to 7, but we do ask you to create a schedule as well as have a staging location, because there's a place that you're going to need to pick up a tent. It gets hot outside. A place to pick up slate cards, a place to get water, refreshments, and take those with you. And then sometimes there's a break in between where you may leave and there's nobody available to man that particular site for 2 hours or 4 hours, but then there's somebody that gets off work at 3 o'clock in the afternoon and they're ready to be there from 4 to 7. So it's a lot of coordination that goes into it, but it's also a lot of fun. So that's my very first ask. And I think, Donna, if you didn't get that email, let me know, because we're requesting a response back by, I think, the 16th, this coming Friday. Okay, I'll repeat it. Donna's asking if there's a specific area or vote polling site that you all should be working. I'm going to recommend that you work one right here in your community. The closest one is the SOE office right on Falklandburg. And I do believe that you can get there and access it. And there actually is a few shade trees around in the area as well. But again, the list is there. But we recommend that you do something in your own local community is what we recommend. And they normally do that particular one. But if more than one group wants to do a specific site, then what we're going to do is have them collaborate with each other. That way, when there's gaps in coverage, there may be extra people there to take care of it. So does anybody on the line have any questions in reference to that? Okay, that was ask number one. Backtracking, ask number two. We talked a few months ago, probably about 3 months ago, and I know it's been a long time since I was here. I've been busy. I think I came last month, but then I had to leave right at 7 o'clock because I also have a state progressive caucus meeting on this same night. So that's why I'm not here quite as often as I should be, because this is my local club, but I promised I would show up early, and I have. And even though I have to leave early, I do continue to show up. We asked about you all adopting some specific precincts, that there is no precinct captain in that particular precinct or volunteer actively working in that precinct. And I believe we identified, was it 5, a total of 5. And I think we prioritized 3 of them. Well, now we're at that point where we need to drop these slate cards off and get them in voters' hands. So we're going to pick back up on that ask for you all to adopt early voting sites and start dropping these particular cards off at the voters' doors. Radina's going to talk more about that, I believe. But your point of contacts in between all of that are Radina. She's Region 5. Hi, Radina. So she's your point of contact into the DEC on precinct and field. Reed deals with precinct and field as well, but if you can tell, when he's not eating a lot, yeah, there you go. He's also your point of contact from your volunteer side to plug into Radina to organize those canvassing events. And then we have Vicky back here that's also participating from a volunteer perspective. And she has volunteer forms that people can fill out, and she's manually entering the information. But ASAP, we want to start knocking doors as soon as possible, especially since we have the voter cards in our hand. I know our first canvass is going to be this Saturday in Temple Terrace as a progressive caucus. And then I'm going to come back and canvass my own community later on that Saturday evening over here in Brandon. Right. So I don't just talk the talk and not walk the walk. I don't ask someone to do something that I'm not willing to also sacrifice and do. So those are my 2 asks today. Any questions from anyone? Do you remember those off the top of your head? And I'm gonna repeat those: 827, 825, 811, 804, and 803. And what we'll do before it's time for you to actually knock doors and canvas. And when I say what we'll do before means like tomorrow, is to actually analyze where the best bang for our buck is. If there's a specific precinct that could get a congressional rep elected, a state rep elected, and a board of county commissioner person elected, then that's the precinct that we want to go into first. So we need to do a little analysis to see where we get the most bang for our buck. Yes, Reed. So what Reed is basically saying is at least one of those representatives that need to get elected is Andrew Learned. And Andrew Learned is in all 5 of those precincts. Again, we sat down and we did it. We pull up the spreadsheet and we see in this particular precinct how many candidates are there. So we know that Andrew Learned is in each of those, but there may also be a CFE 15 person that we need to get elected in one of those. There could be a board of county commissioner person. There could be a state rep person. So there could be other people in there other than Andrew Learned. I think he would be the only one, but there are others within those precincts that we would want to try to get as elected as well. So any other questions? Going once? Twice? Yes, Chris. And you're not the only one. My precinct got changed as well. I was in 855, now I'm in 856. But we can look that information up for you. And as a matter of fact, if you go into Vote Builder, it will tell you specifically, and or look on your voter registration card. It would tell you specifically what areas you actually fall into. They'll show you it shows the new one. But well, it's two that is running, right? So you want to know who's running for that particular seat. Is that what it is that you're saying? That's what we're telling you. If you look at your voter registration card, it should have came out in the last 2 months. And if it's not, you have access to Vote Builder, yes? So if you do a quick look up and look at your name, it will tell you specifically where do you fall into, what CD race, what Florida House race. Correct. The new stuff is in Vote Builder and the new stuff is in your voter registration card. And if you didn't get your voter registration card, just call the SOE office and ask them to send you another one. And then we can look to see on the SOE's office who's running in what specific race. I think he found it. Oh, it's yours, but you're showing it to him. Yes, Reed. I'm going to repeat what he's saying. It doesn't even have to be quite that difficult. It's on the sheet. And it's on the slate card. So can I see your voter? Can I see? Then let me take a look at it. I don't want to hold up the entire meeting. But let's just say hypothetically, Vicky says she's in congressional district 16. So Jan is running for congressional district 16. She's in state house 20. I don't see a person on here for State House 20, which means they're not up for reelection at this point in time because a state senator runs for state because they have a 6-year. Florida House has 2. State Senate, state. Okay. Congressional representative for 16. That's what I was getting ready to say. If the person has already won their election, they're probably not on here because Diane Hart has already run her election, so she's not on here, right? So it could be that that person is already automatically elected. That could be one reason. But if you want to know for sure, I would go on the SOE's office, or you can give me a call and we can go into it into more depth. So if that person is up for election in that particular race, it's going to be on the slate if it's in Hillsborough County. Now, if it's outside of Hillsborough County, that's different. So did I answer your question, ma'am? Okay. All right. SOE. All right. You're welcome. Reed, come on back.
Oh,
Thank you, everyone.
thank you, Vanessa. I appreciate you coming. That's a hard worker. That's a hard worker. Who's ready to work harder? Who's ready to go to precincts? Who's ready to walk the streets, knock on doors, and get the voters out to vote? Because what could happen if we don't get our Democrats out to vote? Well, let me start over. What happens when Democrats vote? Democrats win. So we need to get out and get some work. And I'm one of the worst. I feel like I work all the time, but you know what? I need to get out and start canvassing myself. So right now, what I'm going to do is bring up who wants to be next. How about Rudina? But while Rudina is making her way up here, we do have some brand new guests, and I would like to introduce them. You two, I know that you've been to the meetings in the past when we met at that place that kicked us out because we were Democrats. Yes. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Yeah, we don't go back there either. So, O'Brien's, yeah. On Lumsden and Kings, yeah. So if you would, your name and how you found out about, well, you know how we found out. A little bit about you.
Hi, I'm Brooke Carroll. I don't remember how we found out. Sure, sure. Happy to do that. Hi, I'm Brooke Carroll. I actually don't remember how I found out about you guys. My friend and I came to a meeting. It's been a few years, but we juggle children and husbands and you know, all that. So it's been difficult to get back out. Feeling significantly more motivated. I have a daughter who I want to have rights that seemed inalienable for a while, and they don't seem quite so inalienable anymore. And anyhow, I'm feeling pretty motivated to make sure that we can stay on what seems to me to be the path of compassion and goodness. So anyway, I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
Hi. No, I don't like this thing. My name is Sharon. I'm a former teacher and I have 3 little ones now. And my middle guy has special needs. He's a medically fragile child who goes to a special education center. So education is the biggest priority to me, and keeping our public schools running as public schools should run. I'm feeling it the last couple of years that Hillsborough County is under attack. And I would like to help do whatever I can to fix that and turn it around. And of course, beyond education, healthcare is huge for me also. Yeah, so I would love to be more active. My kids keep me very busy, but we're going to do the best we can. So we'll try to get in there.
Thank you. And they are new members. They are new members. Vicky's doing her job. You've been here before, right? Yes, you have. You're not.
local, and I'm
no,
coming to you from Kingston, Washington.
Oh,
Oh, stay up. How's your weather? Raining? No, it's kind of gray. We've got a lot of smoke and haze from the fires.
Well, I think somebody else is talking, so.
that's okay. You can stand up and talk now. Just tell me your name and how you heard about the club.
Hmm.
That's it.
My name is Christina. This is my dog, RT. Actually, it's short for the Artful Dodger, which is a character out of the Charles Dickens book, Oliver Twist. I am a dog groomer. I am very passionate about animals. I'm very passionate about women's rights. And I'm very passionate about what I see is happening to this government. It just absolutely freaks me out because I'm 55 years old and I've seen this. It's just amazing to me what I see now. It breaks my heart. And that's why I'm here, because you have a DeSantis shirt on. I was volunteering for the DNC in Temple Terrace when Gillum was running. We all know what happened to him, but I have to get back into this because it's extremely important to me, and so is my country. And that's, I'm just a very passionate person. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And I think we have one other over here that is new to just wandered into our club meeting, and I want her to introduce herself, if you would.
Hi, I'm Julia. I did just wander in since the last election. So my husband and I just moved here to Florida from Arizona. So I was a poll worker in Arizona and very active in Arizona. So I hope to kind of get back in the swing of things here in Florida. I was born and raised in Orlando and West Palm. So spent 24 years here, and it was a Democrat. I worked on campaigns back then, and it was just a different state, and it's definitely changed. I mean, it's heartbreaking to come back here and see how it's totally changed. The environment's gone to hell. Everything is like it's terrible. So I'm also very passionate about animals. I'm fostering a dog right now with the Pet Resource Center. So, but yeah, thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. And we're giving high fives, you know, because you've been there, done it. And Rudina, there's another volunteer for you. So without further ado, Rudina is going to tell us a little bit more about what we can do to get out there and get the vote out. So take it away.
Thank you, Donna. Okay, I am with the Hillsborough County HCDEC, Hillsborough County Democratic Executive Committee. I'm a regional director, which means that I'm responsible for a pretty big geographic chunk that I can't possibly do by myself. So I need all the help I can get because we've got a very big job. In this midterm, we're either going to replace the governor and replace one of the two senators, or we're going to be strapped to the same two guys who have not served this state well and will continue to not serve this state well. This is a golden opportunity to get new people into positions where they can be executing legislation that's more in line with the ethical and moral and democratic leanings that we all share. So without the Democratic vote, we're conceding victory to the other side. That's what it comes down to. Either we get the Democrats out to vote, or we sit back and watch this whole thing play out the way they would like to see it play out. How many of you are willing to do that? You're willing to see it all play out the way the other side would like to see it play out? Ah, good, good. Because for that not to happen, I need more than a hand wave. I need people on the ground doing all different things. I need some people to do phone banking, some people to do text banking, some people to do postcarding, and most important, people to get the canvassing done, to get these slate cards out to the people who need to have them. Who are those people? Well, yes, and refining that, I think we can pretty much expect that consistent Democratic voters will vote down line the way we would like to see them vote. They go out every time to vote. They vote pretty much a Democratic ticket. They don't need a lot of encouragement. However, there's a whole group of Democrats who are registered who don't vote in the midterms, who tend to only vote in the presidential elections. They're good people, they're Democrats. However, they don't put much of a premium on the midterm elections. Those are some of the people we have to encourage to get out to vote. Because as Donna said, when the Democrats vote, what happens? Yes. So we need to get Democrats out to vote. And those are the people who sometimes vote and sometimes don't. We need to kind of push that envelope so that they do vote. And this tells them who to vote for if they're not following the politics, if they're not looking for the recommendations on the constitutional amendments or the ordinances or the judges who are supposed to be nonpartisan, but we know better, right? When somebody is appointed by Governor DeSantis, we kind of know how they're going to be ruling. And if they're up for being reelected into that position, and we have the option not to give them the grace to be reelected, then we have a little more leverage. So one group who needs to have this are what we call the drop-off Dems, the intermittent, inconsistent Democrats. The other group are the people who are no party affiliates, who tend to vote more along the lines of the Democrats. We call them the left-leaning NPAs. And that's a substantial number of voters. With this, if they go into their ballot, it may persuade them to vote the ticket that we would like to see voted. So those are the two groups that we're creating canvases for. In order to do that, we need volunteers to actually come out with us and distribute these cards to those two groups. And we're making the canvases as we speak, creating that. And I'm trying to limit the number of names on any given list to about 50. We encourage people to go out in teams of 2 or 3, and 50 households can be knocked off in about an hour and a half. So it's not an inordinate amount of time, but there are a lot of precincts, and one precinct may have 5 or 6 turfs, which means 5 or 6 forays into the community to get everybody one of these cards who needs to have these cards. So it's a lot of workers that we need, a lot of volunteers. I wish we could pay you. We can't. This is an army of volunteers. And it's an army of volunteers bonded by the outcome that we're all looking for. So after the meeting, if you are willing to join up with this project, I'll need your name and contact information. And if you have a preferred precinct that you would like to cover, if it's the precinct you live in, we can prioritize that. There is, you know, while we have those 5 precincts outlined, there's nothing to say that we can't do a different precinct or another precinct. The important thing is to get these out in as wide a distribution as possible. Anybody have any questions about the mission? Yes, Reed. Postcarding. And while that's true, that doesn't get this physical card in the hands of the people who we're trying to get them in the hands of. It's all important. There is nothing that's unimportant. But right now we're prioritizing getting these cards in the hands of the voters. All right, so that's one thing. Yes. Mhm. Yes. I'm sorry, what is your first name? Mary Ellen. Yeah. You, yes to everything. What we have is a tool, and that tool is called Minivan. And when you load it into your phone, it's an app, and you use the list number for the area that you're going to be canvassing, what you will get is a whole list of people who conform to the 2 criteria I just said, who are either inconsistently voting Democrats or left-leaning NPAs. Those are the only people on the list. Theoretically, now we all know, all of us who have canvassed, sometimes people move and other people move in, and you knock on the door of somebody who used to be a very reliable Democrat, and now all of a sudden you've got somebody who's not very nice to you. It happens. But it doesn't happen that often that it discourages us from doing what we do. But yes, you will, in this minivan, you will have a script, you will have a list of people, you will have the names of those people, you'll have the names of the registered voters in that house. And so with a little bit of training, we try to pair up people who have not canvassed or not canvassed recently with people who are more adept at doing it because they've been doing it more recently, so that there's a training component to it. And as Reed said, we tried to keep this to pairs or threesomes. It's great if there are 3 people because one person can drive, the other people can work the right and the left side of the street, and it gets done faster. So that's kind of a broad stroke description of what we're doing. I have brought, I think 400 of these with me today, if anybody is ready to launch. But if you don't have a list yet, then it might make more sense to be walked through the list making or to ask me to create a list in a particular precinct. And I'll do that and set up a canvas. And once we put it on Mobilize, other people in the area, maybe nobody who's in this room, but somebody who says, you know, I think I better do something, might sign up, register for your canvas and come along and then become a more regular participant. That's how we get a lot of the people that we use. So that's this. I have, I think, a small correction. Early voting is October 29th until November 5th. Okay, and I've got enough of these cards with me with the dates that everybody can take one with them today. I'm sorry? This card says it's October 29th till November 5th for early voting. November 8th, of course, is the election day. Don't kill the messenger. I'm just reading what it says here. So
Actually, if someone, that has the wrong date.
this has the wrong date?
Yes, I checked it after Vanessa set the dates and I went to the supervisor of elections material. And what she said is correct.
The 24th to November 5th. Is that what you're saying?
What did she say?
She
I wrote
she
it
thinks
down.
she said the 24th. The 24th. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's on the supervisor of elections. So it says October 24th to November 6th. So unfortunately, that's
Both dates are
wrong.
wrong. Whoa. Okay. Well, I won't be giving these out because that'll just create a lot of confusion. But once they're corrected, the other side of the card is fabulous for people who are afraid that the Republicans will carry out some of their threats about terminating Medicare, Social Security, Medicaid. That is a cost-cutting objective that we have heard bantered about by the GOPs, certainly not what the Democrats plan to do. So this side of the card, even though this side is a little wonky, this side of the card is also very good to use as a canvassing device. I have these things with me. Flip Florida Blue, talking about some of the positions that the Democratic Party has taken, some of the objectives. It's a nice little booklet, and even if you don't have them to give out, you might want to take one with you just to read over. So to follow Vanessa, the ask is to have people be willing to belly up to the bar and at least give it a try. Sign up for a canvassing experience. You will not be sent out by yourself. Never will that happen. You will be sent out with somebody who has some amount of experience, who can mentor you. And at some point, you may be confident enough to mentor someone else. And this is going to take a lot of effort. There are a lot of households that we need to cover in Hillsborough County. And Region 5 is only one part of Hillsborough County, and I'm only responsible for the southern part of Region 5. So, you know, as big as my numbers are, the numbers are even bigger. So we need a lot, and we're asking a lot. Questions? Who thinks that they may be willing to try some canvassing? Wonderful. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Come to me after the meeting. Give me your name, contact information. You know all these hands that have gone up? I still want them to come up to me because it's a commitment. I like commitments. Anything else? Any other questions? Yes. The app that we take with us on canvassing is called Minivan, MINI, V as in Victor, AN. And we ask that everybody who's going to go out canvassing put that app in their phone and bring their phone with them because it's an incredibly useful tool. Yes, Reed. True that. Yeah, the minivan will ask you for something called an action ID. And it takes nothing to do that. You just have to go through the steps, and none of this costs anything. You will not be billed. Will not be asked for your credit card. This is all free, but it's incredibly important. Any other questions? Thank you very much for your participation. We need you all.
Thank you so much, Rudina. Vicky, did you have anything to add as far as volunteers? And you're good? The 19th is a Get Out the Vote roadshow in Ybor City. Where, hold on a second, can you tell everybody where you're meeting?
It's called Get Out the Vote, and it's at Ybor City Democratic Coordinating Campaign Office. It's from 6 until 8, 1909 North 19th Street, Ybor. This is Charlie, Chris, Val Demings, and candidates are all going to be there. Get out the vote. It's supposed to be a pretty good time. So bring your pocketbook.
September?
No, this month, September 19th, Monday.
Okay. Anybody, Reed, you have anything to add? Do you have anything that you need to add? No, I'm keeping the microphone because I know what about the volunteering. Okay, great. All right. Okay, question. Chris will post that Get Out the Vote online on our, yeah, it's on Mobilize, but will you post it on our calendar as well? Yeah. Vicky will get that to you. Absolutely. So what we're going to do now is, I know Jan Schneider, who is trying to get Vern Buchanan out of office, is on our Zoom, and I would love for her to sneak in here. How are you doing on that campaign, Jan?
Slowly, but we are working about 18 to 20 hours a day. We know it's hard. Gee, I'm a Yale lawyer with a PhD in political science. I can count. But I want to say what we can do, a secondary goal of our campaign, is if we can get out, and I typically get out 10 to 14,000 progressives in Manatee County who don't otherwise bother to vote, that can be most of the margin against DeSantis. Now we are running on, of course, women's rights, of course, healthcare, of course, what's happening to our so-called democracy. But you know what? We are working our hardest. Vern Buchanan has voted not only against choice, he voted against the Violence Against Women's Act. He voted against every women's health measure that came before him. He talks a very good game and then he votes otherwise. He also voted against gay marriage. He talks a great game on we have to support Medicare and Social Security. And he voted 6 times to turn Medicare into a voucher system. That would cost the average 65-year-old twice as much for health care. Vern
He was a car salesperson and he's really good at talking a game. But then he votes otherwise. He wages war on women and seniors with his votes. Byrne votes for Byrne and the ultra wealthy. He got $7 million in PPP loans. 2.3 million were forgiven. And he's against student loan forgiveness, up to 10,000 and 20,000 if you have a Pell Grant. Seems to be an inconsistency there. But he's to the rich should be given. And we are for all the people, and I really could use your help. And most immediately, though, in our part of Hillsborough County, can people message me if you know sign locations, places I should be showing up, like Rotary meetings, Kiwanis meetings? Our pitch has got to be at the NPAs. We are a way under budget campaign, but we did as well as Margaret Good did last time, twice on 1.2% of the budget. We work very hard, but we can use simple help like that. You tell me where I should go and I will go there. Anyway, thank you. I love this club, as Donna knows well.
Thank you, Jan.
Any questions?
Anybody have any questions for Jan? Jan, I do, because we do have some visitors and new members, and your area was changed. Vern Buchanan's area was changed, but it does now come down into Hillsborough County. Can you tell us where it drops down to, where the line stops?
It goes almost to 75 on the west, and it goes up to Brandon and east from there. But I don't think it includes Fishhook, but it's basically from Manatee up through Riverview, Sun City, Brandon, that way. Apollo Beach is west of the district. I'll send you a map.
I appreciate that. And you are coming to our picnic, right? Did I see
Of
that?
course.
Yes.
I always come to your picnics, even if I'm not. Your club has, and I'm becoming a connoisseur of Democratic clubs, but a very good balance between substance and mutual support and issues and work. I admire it greatly.
Thank you so much, Jan, and thank you for your hard work and effort. And I am praying that you take on that, or take out that idiot. Yeah. It's all about women's rights, all about us.
I was looking in my garage the other day, cleaning it out, and I actually still had a bunch of stuff back from law school and college that said women's lip. Who on earth thought I'd want that stuff again?
You should bring it out and display it, let everybody know that we're fighting it again. I remember,
Exactly.
Yeah, I remember burning my bra. Yeah, I'm that old. Okay, I did. You hush. Oh, well, thank you. I didn't miss any candidates. No one else is on the Zoom call, right? If not, pipe in. I didn't think so. Okay. The September 19th, Geo Get Out the Vote is on Mobilize, and Chris put it on the chat. Let's get out that vote. EBOR is a lot of fun. I'm going to move into our business meeting, and we're going to start with how much money we don't have.
How much money we don't have? Actually, we do have, for the time being. We have $1,716.67. And if anybody wants to give a massive amount of money, we'll take it.
I'm accused of spending money. Oh, well, we'll have to just build it back up. The secretary report, Janet sent it out. Didn't see any complaints or changes. Did you, Janet? And we voted at the board meeting to accept them. And so if there's no questions to that, then we're just going to move on. And she checked her spelling better. Okay, old business, the Kennedy King dinner. It was awesome. It really was. Who else was there besides me? Let's see, Vicky, Bettina, anybody want to tell their experience? Emmett was sober. Anybody want to talk about the Kennedy King dinner? Andrew Lernan had brought his new little girl. Oh, well, Andrew Warren was there. Yeah. It was a lot of fun. It was. We had a table and we girls, we had fun. And Emmett. But yeah. Yeah. Emmett was the only guy there, but we had a good time. Old business. There are flyers out for our new picnic, October the 8th. I hope that you will all attend. We are going to have a raffle again this year. And Vicki, you want to talk about the raffle? I'll get you up here one way or another. Bring a potluck dish. It's going to be at the corner of South Kings and Bloomingdale in Valrico. We have this every year. We please invite the candidates that you know, because we do want them to speak loudly over our speakers so that the people that are there at the park with their kids can hear them. And so it's a lot of fun, and it's great to just get together with like-minded people. And a lot of the candidates come out just before they go canvassing. They eat a hot dog or a hamburger and all the other stuff that we have there, and then they go out and canvass. So put it on your calendar and come on out. 11 o'clock, October 8th. And Vicki.
All right, thank you, Donna. By the way, Donna, please bring the t-shirts that you have left.
Yeah.
Okay. And I want to thank Reed for getting with Renee Goldstein. She's going to be bringing all the little shop items from the HCDEC store, and they're going to set up a table. All I'm going to have to do is provide them with a table. So if we can get an extra, I have a couple, but we probably need to bring several, since we're going to also have another way from earning, making some little bit of cash money through donations. Did I say that right, Reed?
Yep.
Okay. We're going to do a small auction item. So one individual item that you think would be really nice and would be able to put on a silent auction sheet. It's just going to be a sheet. You sign, you go back, you look at it. If it's not the bid that you want, you up your money. And the last person will have a time on it. The last person who's the highest bid is the one that wins the item, and you know, the donations made. Okay. So if you'd like to make an item donation to us for the picnic, be sure to contact me. Everybody pretty much has my info. Jim and Mary Ellen, glad to see you guys are back and you're doing well, Jim. I didn't text you guys because I knew he's been kind of out of things. So now they know you're back. Good. We don't have to stand in the middle of Publix anymore and chat, right, Jan? So the other thing we're also going to do is we're going to do our 50-50 tickets. So everybody needs to make sure you bring your pocketbook full of money. Okay. Last time I hit everybody up for about 40 bucks. Everybody. So anyways, we made a little bit of money. It was nice. Kind of went towards some things that we needed to do. So this year we're going to do even more so. Let's see. So we're going to also have another item that we haven't had in a while, and that's a membership table. We're going to have membership cards. We're going to have a little information about Eastern Hillsborough Dems. We'll have slate cards available. We'll have all kinds of information available about the election in November. Okay. What was the other thing? What am I missing that we're doing? Items. That was everything. Be sure to bring a covered dish because we need to feed the populace. You know, can't do it with just a basket of fish anymore. So, that's a woke moment, by the way. I'm just looking here to make sure, okay, okay, I got out the vote. I know there was something else. Oh, also Saturdays from 1 to 3:30 at Fishhawk Starbucks. It's a candidate and it's a weekend of unity and candidates and all kinds of volunteers. It's a whole group effort, different organizations. And they're going to be there in Fishhawk every Saturday from 1 until 3:30 at the Starbucks on 16222 Bayberry Glen Drive, which is right there on Fishhawk Boulevard by the Publix. So if you live in the Fishhawk area, this is a great opportunity. That is in area 5, I do believe, which is what Rudina is in, which is we're all in area 5 pretty much. So that's a good spot to be able to do a little bit of everything for a lot of different candidates. What Radina was going to be doing is we're just doing slate cards. We're not doing candidates. No type of candidate information will be out there. We're just doing doors and getting with the people. If you can get somebody to talk to you, sometimes it's real easy. Sometimes they just don't want to know anything. I just send them the card and tell them have a great day and move on. I would like to be able to have some picnic flyers available when we start doing this. I went Saturday in Valrico and hit all kinds of doors and had people say, I want to come to your picnic. I said, oh, by the way, and then I just tell them about it. If I had a picnic flyer, they'd probably remember it, you know, so, but which is good. So if we can get that done, that just means we have more people coming and joining us. And then we have the membership table and we continue to grow. Reed.
Talking to you about that, if Donna or Chris has an old flyer for an old picnic from the past, it's digital, they just send me the old one, I'll make a new one and I'll print it out. I'll take care of it.
Oh.
He's already got, he's got.
A new one for the 8th?
Yeah.
Oh, wonderful.
Okay, so the flyer is good and you're gonna send it, Chris? That's who you want. Who did you want to send it to you? Oh, he just wants a copy. Okay. All right. Gotcha. All right.
So Chris is going to distribute it.
EHDClub has been on in every email I've sent the last week.
And it's on the website.
Okay, so I have to print it out.
Okay.
Right, that's what.
Yeah, right.
All right.
Exactly. That, and then Emmett said he would also print some out too, Donna. So let's get some to Emmett and then maybe we can get some of the membership information and other things printed. Okay, the other thing is, do we have to vote on food?
Huh?
Do we have to vote on the food?
No.
Okay,
Just bring
so
it.
Emmett is the cook. And if you want to complain, only go to him. No, and he doesn't because you know why? So all that department's taken care of. So everybody be sure to put October the 8th down, Paul Sanders Park, 11 o'clock, be there or be square because we're not going to get anything done if we don't start getting some donations in so Donna can't spend it.
I love to spend money. Not really, not really. We're in the parade on 4th of July and we spent over our budget as far as the float because I rented a trolley and the trolley was expensive. And so now we need to replenish our funds. Yeah. But anyway, last but not least, I've got to mention the Riverview Chamber of Commerce every year has a candidate forum. And this is going to be October the 5th. And it's going to be at the Winthrop Barn in Riverview. It's $20 a person. I can't urge you enough to please be there for our candidates because our people will be there in force. We need to be there in force to back up our candidates. Andrew Lernan, I believe just about all of them, except for I doubt the governor, Charlie Crist will be there. Although it'd be great, but that goes to the Chamber of Commerce. Yeah. No, the candidates, I don't know if the candidates have to pay for it or not. Oh, no. We pay $20 to get in. That money goes towards paying for the event venue. Yeah. So, because nothing's free in life, and the Chamber of Commerce is, but it's October the 5th. If you go on to the Riverview Chamber of Commerce website, you can get your tickets there, or you can pay at the door. But I think it's at like 5 o'clock at night, and it's, please, we need to show up there. It's also on Chris's emails that nobody reads. I read them. Is there any other discussion that we need to talk about? How about you, people on Zoom? Do you have anything you want to talk about? Unmute yourself and pipe in. Nothing? Y'all have nothing to say? Okay. Reed?
Yeah, a week ago today.
Correlation that statisticians find when they do regression analysis between the performance in individual districts and how the entire country is. So, for example, based on historical data, statistical analysis shows us that with the current new district lines for Florida's 16th district, that if the national congressional
Yeah, this is Reed Morgan. A week ago today, there was a Region 5 meeting, and okay, it's usually not a problem for me. Yeah, a week ago today, we had a Region 5 meeting, and obviously Rudina was there. She called the meeting. Vicky was there. I was there. We had Andrew Learned show up, and Andrew told us things about his opposition, his opponent, Danny Alvarez, that I wanted to share with you. I'm going to ask Rudina and Vicky to jump in if I forget something or if I get it wrong. But to the best of my memory, what we were told is Danny Alvarez is a rich lawyer, and he's been backed with a couple $1 million. The lawyers as a group are very unhappy with Andrew Learned. Apparently, this group of lawyers, including Danny Alvarez, made a ton of money in basically pushing opioid pain pills. And Andrew Learned tried to get something done in the legislature that would have attempted to address part of the problem. And of course, he got voted down. So they are very ticked off. And that's where Danny Alvarez showed up as an opponent. And you'll notice huge Danny Alvarez signs are popping up every day over the last week or so. And there's a pattern. They're showing up at gas stations. Evidently, one rich guy who's backing Danny Alvarez, God knows if he's also a lawyer, and that's where he invested his opioid pill money. But gas stations all over our area where it's what House District 69 now. Danny Alvarez signs are showing up, and they're huge. They're huge, like 6 feet tall and 12 feet across. They're on big, huge 4x4 posts. And so wherever a rich guy is, they're putting up Danny Alvarez signs. One just showed up literally in the street next to mine on the way to this meeting at a sawmill of all places. But Danny Alvarez is bad news from a personal point of view. Okay. And I just wanted to share that with you. And if I missed anything that else that Andrew said, Rudina or Vicky, speak up. Vicky, did I miss anything about Alvarez? All right. Yeah, so basically Danny Alvarez is bad news, and the big money interests want him gone. And once again, Andrew has told us repeatedly, his was one of the barely won seats for the Democrats last election, and he is the seat that kept the Republicans from becoming a supermajority, in which DeSantis could override basically any veto. And so it's important that we support Andrew, and that's linking back to the 5 precincts that we're adopting here. It's really, really important for Andrew, for those precincts, for us to get these slate cards out, because a lot depends on it at every level you can think of, at the actual 69 district level, but for the state as a whole, it's a blow against DeSantis. This is some serious stuff, folks. And what we're doing here, that by getting out and putting these slate cards in warm or cold Dems and in left-leaning MPAs, it may make a difference for Andrew Learned. And that's going to be a big, to quote Uncle Joe, a big effing deal. And that's all I have to say.
you go to and start making a donation. I mean,
What Vicky just said is if you have not made donations to Andrew Learn's campaign, we need to get donations out there to his campaign. What is it?
your money's coming from other resorts no matter what. Just like we're understanding, the money is all dark money. It's like the 1.6 billion that was given to some Republican tax out west that was used anywhere in the nation. And that, how many years ago they did this to $1.6 billion? You know, that's
Right.
Republicans with the money.
Rick Scott, maybe real quick.
Yeah, well, he's another idiot. Anyway.
Wait, Vicky, if you're gonna, if you,
To learn it, and that goes back to the fish hop canvassing on Saturday, all of that is relevant. Fish hop
I'm
is a
getting
very red area.
And that's Andrew Learned's area
And it's
west of
area.
Olympia Prime Crest.
Correct.
what's going on Saturday?
It's to get out the vote at Fish Hawk from 1 until 3:30 on Saturday. It's a unity canvassing event at Starbucks.
Okay. So anything else?
No, it's not the blue yellow.
No.
Starbucks on Fish Hawk.
It's in Fish Hawk Starbucks. Yeah.
For the Bayberry. You girls will too? Okay, so. you're gonna
Awesome.
join us Saturday then?
All right, we've already got volunteers going out to Fish Hawk. So is there anything else? Am I going to see everybody at the picnic on October? Yes. Yes. All right. Yeah, they copied us. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So if there's nothing else, we're going to adjourn the meeting. We did run about 15 minutes past what we normally do, and we didn't have a speaker. That's quarter till. So. Bye, everyone on Zoom. Thank you so much. Appreciate y'all being on. Jan, keep us informed.